Hi guys, I'm Patrick.
I am Matt.
And I'm Jack.
Welcome to Decentralized in 5. Bitcoin today.
Let's start the clock.
Excellent. So the reason why Bitcoin today is one of our first episodes is simply because Bitcoin has been hitting the headlines around the world today in the last few weeks, and we've seen a dramatic increase in the price, basically the value of Bitcoin. We've been sharing through our friends and me personally on my Facebook page what's going on, and I've gotten a lot of questions about, hey, should I buy, should I do this, should I do that? And today we're going to get into this so that you guys know what our opinion is on Bitcoin today.
Cool. Okay, so just a little bit about the price to let you know where we are at the moment. We're currently at just under $3,000, $2,848. The price has risen absolutely dramatically. There's been a couple of bubble poppings going on as the price has risen too quick, but Bitcoin's just recovered again. The thing is relentless, it seems, at the moment. I'll just urge to proceed with caution because the price is so high and it could easily pull back. But the way this thing is spreading, it feels like it's going to go on forever. So trade the charts, make sure you don't take too much risk on. And yeah, here we go, up we go it seems. One of the problems with Bitcoin today is that it has this problem with slow transactions. So back when Patrick and I started this a few years ago, it was literally like 2 seconds, you know? You get your money, boom, it was in your account like that, as soon as you made the transaction. So we were like going around telling people, oh, it's instant transactions. Well now, because so many more people are getting involved and there's so many more transactions per second, the transaction processing time is going down big time.
And the transaction fees going up.
Transaction fees going up as a result, because the more you pay, the quicker, the higher in the queue your transaction goes. So as a result, now my last transaction for Bitcoin, I think I waited about 3 days for it to process. It's just crazy, you know. It's quite scary because you don't know where your money is. So the reason for this is because you have a 1 megabyte block size. So we were talking about blocks in the last episode. Each one of those blocks has got 1 megabyte of information. Within that, you have the signature for the confirmation of the block. And you also have the comments in the block. People can send messages in blocks. So that takes up some of the size of the block. So as a result, what's proposed at the moment is something called SegWit, which is this. And SegWit is proposing to remove those two features so that they have more space on the block to process transactions. So they have the full 1 megabyte, right? And it will allow the Bitcoin network to speed up, probably to double the size. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but it's going to be considerably faster than it is now. The plan currently is to roll this out in August. There was a counter proposal to this by some other parts of the community called Bitcoin Unlimited, which is essentially a separate chain where Bitcoin is running on a completely separate chain. So you have the original Bitcoin and then you have Bitcoin Unlimited, and if Bitcoin is clogged, they'll use Bitcoin Unlimited to speed those transactions up. But it becomes a separate currency almost altogether, and you know, it's not within the ideals of what Bitcoin is supposed to be. You know, we've created a limited supply and things like that. So they're going for SegWit. Should be rolling out in August. But both of these are temporary fixes. Yeah, they're not perfect fixes, and they're just fixes to allow the community to get their acting gear and come together with the final solution for what they're going to do to speed up the transaction processing times.
Exactly, and there where you're talking about the community, Matt. This is what we're going to get on to next, and it's important to mention that, as Matt's saying, the community makes decisions. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean there's a group of guys on some forum or different places around the internet sharing ideas and they're making decisions? Does that sound like chaos?
It sounds like chaos.
But actually, that's exactly what's happening. And so Matt explained it. Now, from my perspective, I'm a big fan of Bitcoin, and wow, transactions used to be fast. That's not the story now. There's too many transactions. The network is clogged. They only allow 7 transactions per second, but we have other crypto now allowing 100,000 transactions per second. And me, as a normal outsider user trying to follow the news of Bitcoin, I usually follow it on Reddit, and I go to the Bitcoin subreddit and the BTC subreddit, and all I know is that there's chaos. They're divided. They're not united. and it's not really the future.
Well, they're trying to fix it so that they can come up with a system where they can unite and have incentives to agree with each other and move forward. But there's so many different stakeholders that are affected negatively by this SegWit and Bitcoin Unlimited solution. It's just crippling Bitcoin at the moment. So there are other solutions, as you mentioned. There's other.
Time's up.